Namaskar everyone. Welcome to this highly informative presentation on branches of Vedas. Today we will explain all about the branches of Vedas known as Shakas. As we discussed in the previous session, Sri Vyasadeva divided Vedas into 4 or actually 5 and handed them over to his principal disciples. His disciples further propagated the Vedic knowledge as mentioned in Bhagavad Purana. Pailaya samhitamadhyam brahadracham uvachaha vaishampayana sangyaya nigadakhyam yajurganam samnam jaimina ye praha tatha chandogya samhitam atharvangira simnama swashishyaya sumantave. Srila Vyasadeva taught the first samhita, the Rig Veda, to Paila and gave the collection name Brahavracha. To the sage Vaishampayan, he spoke the collection of Yajur mantra named as Nigada. He taught the Sama Veda mantras designated as Chandogya Samhita to Jaimini, and he spoke Atharva Veda to his dear disciple Sumantu. After dividing his Samhita into 2 parts, Paila spoke to Indrapramiti and Bashkala. Bashkala further divided his collection into 4 parts and instructed them to his disciples Podaya, Yajnavalkya, Parashara and Agnimitra. Indrapramiti, the self-contained sage, taught his Samhita to the learned mystic Mandukya, whose disciples Devamrita later passed the divisions of Rig Veda to Saubhari and others. The son of Mandukya, named as Shakalya, divided his own collection into 5, entrusting 1 subdivision each to Vatsya, Mudgala and Shaila, Gokarna, Shishira. The sage Jatukarna was also a disciple of Shakalya. After dividing the Samhita he received from Shakalya into 3 parts, he added 4th section, a Vedic glossary known as Nirukta. He taught one of these parts of each of the 4 disciples, Bashkala, the second Paila, Jabala and Viraja. Bashkali assembled the Valkilya Samhita, the collection from all the branches of Rig Veda. This collection was received by Valayani, Bhaja and Kashara. Thus, these various Samhitas of Rig Vedas were maintained through the disciplic succession by such saintly Brahmanas. They were so meticulously maintained that by simply hearing this distribution of Vedic hymns, one will be freed from all sins. Now coming to the branches of Atharva Veda, the disciples of Vaishampayana became the authority on Atharva Veda. They were known as the Charakas because they executed strict vows to free their guru from the sin of killing a Brahmana. Once Yajnavalkya, one of the disciples of Vaishampayan, said, "O Master, how much benefit these feeble efforts and endeavors of these weak disciples of yours will do. I will personally perform some outstanding penance." Addressed thus, the spiritual master of Vaishampayan became angry and said, "Go away from here. Enough of you. O disciple, one who insults the Brahmanas, I don't like you. Furthermore, you must immediately give back everything I have taught you." Yajnavalkya, the son of Devarata, then vomited the mantras of Yajur Veda and went away from there. The assembled disciples, looking greedily upon these Yajur mantras, assumed the form of partridges and picked them all. These divisions of Yajur Veda therefore became known as the most beautiful Taittiriya Samhita, the hymns collected by partridges known as Titara in Sanskrit. Yajnavalkya then desired to find out the new Yajura mantras unknown even to his spiritual master. With this in mind, he offered attentive worship to the powerful Lord of Sun. Om Namo Bhagavate Adityaya. Satisfied by such glorification, the powerful sun god assumed the form of a horse and presented sage Yajnavalkya Yajur mantras previously unknown in human society. From this countless hundreds of mantras of Yajur Veda, the powerful sage compiled 15 new branches of Vedic literature. These became known as Vajasayani Samhita because they were produced from the hairs of horse's mane, and they were accepted in the disciplic succession by the followers of Kanva, Madhyandina and other rishis. Now coming to Sama Veda. Jaimini Rishi, the authority of Sama Veda, had a son named Sumantu, and The son of Sumantu was Sutavan. The sage Jaimini spoke each of them a different part of the Sama Veda Samhita. Sukarma, another disciple of Jaimini, was a great scholar. He divided the mighty tree of the Sama Veda into 1000 Samhitas. Then the three disciples of Sukarma, who were known as Kushalaputra, Hiranyanabha and Poshyanji, were very advanced in spiritual realization. They took charge of the Samhita mantras, and 500 disciples of Poshyanji and Antavaya become known as Uditya, the ones belonging to East. And in the later times, some of them also became known as Prachyan, belonging to East. 5 other disciples of Poshyanji, named as Longakshi, Mangali, Kulya, Kushida and Kukshi. The disciples of Hiranyanabha spoke 24 Samhitas to their own disciples, and remaining collections were passed down by the self-realized sage Avantya. The authority on Atharva Veda, he taught his Samhita to his disciple Kabandha. Now lastly, let's talk about Atharva Veda. Remember Sumantu Rishi? The authority on Atharva Veda. He taught his Samhita to his disciple Kabandha, who in turn spoke it to Pathya and Vedadarsha. Vedadarsha then spoke it to Shauklayani, Brahmabali, Modosha and Pippalayani. Also, Kumuda, Shunaka and Jajali were also experts in Atharva Veda. Now, Babru and Saindhavayana, the disciple of Shaunaka, studied 2 divisions of their spiritual master's compilation of Atharva Veda, and Shantikalpa, Nakshatrakalpa, Kashyapa, Angirasa and others were also the acharyas of Atharva Veda. Originally, there were about 1130 branches, of which very few survived to the date. Rig Veda originally had 21 shakas. Shakalya, Bashkal, Shankayana and Ashwalayana have survived out. And there are many others which are not available. Yajur Veda is attributed with 101 branches, out of which Katyayana and Kanva and also Madhyandina belong to Shukla Yajur Veda. While Maitrayani, Taittiriya, also Apastambha, Hiranyakeshin, Kapisthal and Katha are associated with Krishna Yajur Veda. Sama Veda had 1000 shakas as we discussed. However, only Kauthumiya, Ranayaniya and Talavaktra, or also known as Jaiminiya, are in existence. Atharva Veda once possessed 9 shakas. Shaunaka and Pippalada are the only existing shakas to the day. So we discussed various branches of Vedas, and when we say Rig Veda, it is not a book, but it is the collection of all those branches and their traditions and everything combined. Each branch has its own way of performing rituals, and hence a separate Brahmana and Aranyaka and also Upanishada to a certain extent were also named after the branches, like Taittiriya Upanishada, Katha Upanishada, etc. They are named after their respective branches. That's all for today. If you find this relevant, please consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you very much for watching this.